So today we're going to be looking at the triangle angle sum theorem as well as the exterior angle theorem. So here we have a triangle with angles A, B, and C. I just put little angle marks on them, and I used a different number of angle marks on all three of them because we don't know if they're the same or different, so we'll just say they're different. And we have that if you add all three of the angles inside the triangle on any triangle, you're going to get 180 degrees. So no matter what, all three inside angles add to 180 in a triangle. Okay? So if you add all three of the angles together, you're going to get 180. So if you have two of them, you can subtract those two from 180 to get the third one. Now we also have that an exterior angle is formed by extending any one side of the triangle. So if we took this line and we just made it longer like that, then we'd get this. And we have that the outside angle, the exterior angle, is equal to the two inside angles that do not meet that outside angle added together. So angle 1 is going to be angle 2 plus angle 3 here. Okay, so the outside angle is equal to the inside 1 angle plus the inside 2 angle. So both inside angles that are non-adjacent, so they are not touching the outside angle. Okay, so the outside angle is going to be equal to the other two angles inside that don't touch it added together. So I'm actually going to go back over here. I've got this drawn. Okay, so we have all of these different ways that we know measure of angles. So if two angles, and again you can see that we've got one angle mark and two angle marks, so we know they're not the same. These angles, if they make a straight line, we have the first angle plus the second angle. That's going to give us 180 degrees. Okay, so we can put in the values or put in the variables and solve for those, like that. If you have the two angles making up a 90-degree angle, you can add them and equals 90. You can solve from there. If you have vertical angles like this, see if they're directly across the vertex from one another, sorry about that, then they are equal to one another, so you can put one of them equals the other, just fill in the blanks with the angles. If we have three inside angles of a triangle, you add all three together, you're going to get 180 degrees. Okay? And then if you have this outside angle, I'm going to go and switch to it. I think I used this orange color. If we need that outside angle there, then we are going to say that that is equal to these two inside angles that are not meeting it. So not this one. This is not the one you're going to be looking at. You're going to be looking at the other two. Okay? So if you're looking for an angle, it's always going to be one of those ones. So on these ones, we're going to find all the missing angles. So number 1, we have 3 interior angles, but we don't know what an angle 1 is. Well, we do know that they're going to add to 180. So if we have 180 and we subtract these other two, okay, that is going to give us 119 degrees. So if all three of them are 180, 24 degrees is already taken up and 37 is already taken up, then that last angle has to be 119 degrees. Okay? Number 2, we have the outside angle here, okay? So we know that that angle is going to have to be the other two here added together. So these two that are not touching it, so we're not looking at this angle, we're looking at the other two inside angles. So it's going to be 76 plus 52, okay? And that's going to give us 128. So angle 1 here is 128 degrees, okay? I'm going to ask you actually to go ahead and pause the video and try number 3 on your own. Just remember that this outside angle is equal to these two angles added together. Okay, so try that and we'll see how you did it, and press play once you're done. Okay, so now we know that this outside angle here, so this 104, is going to be this angle 1 plus this 79. So if we want to solve for angle 1, we'll have to subtract 79 from both sides, which will give us 25 is equal to angle 1. So angle 1 is going to be 25 degrees. Okay? So if you have the outside angle here, the exterior angle, and one of the inside ones, you just subtract the inside one from the outside one to get the other inside one. Okay? So looking at number 4, we're going to look at this as 2 different triangles. We're going to see what we get. So if we look at this left triangle over here first, because we're looking for angle 1, we see that we have 2 of the angles. So we can take 180, subtract these 2 angles. So we know the whole triangle has 180 degrees. 66 and 84 have already been taken up. Okay, so if we subtract those, that means the only left is going to be 30. So that angle 1 has to be 30 degrees. And I'll actually go ahead and write that down there. Okay? If we look at, let's not look at angle 2 because we don't have any way to solve for that one. Let's look at angle 3 next. Okay? So we don't have angle 2 here, so we can't use the triangle situation, but we can use that this 84 and 3 make a straight line. So we have 84 and angle 3 make a straight line. A straight line's 180. So if 84 is already taken up, then that's going to leave us with 96 degrees left of that straight angle. So this one's going to be 96 degrees. And now we can look at angle 2, because if we look at this triangle here, we can see that we have 2 of the angles. So we'll take 180, we'll subtract this 43, and we'll subtract this 96. We'll subtract the other 2 angles in order to determine that the third one in that triangle, angle 2 here, is 41 degrees. And again, make sure you put the little degree symbol. Okay, so I want you to pause the video now. Try number 5 on your own, okay? And I will go ahead and start by giving you a hint that this is 90 degrees, okay? Look at this small triangle first, okay? So you can find angle 1 from there, okay? This right here is going to be 180 degrees together, so angle 2 is going to be 180 minus this 43. And then once you have that one, you can look at this triangle here, because then you have this 12 degrees, you'll have this angle, so you do 180 minus those 2 to get angle 3. So I want you to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to give you the answers to that one. It's okay if you get it wrong, don't worry. Just go ahead and stop the video and try that one on your own. Okay, so now we're going to look at number 6 on our own. So we're going to look for, let's look at angle 1 first, okay? So you can see we have 2 of the angles in this triangle, so we can subtract those to get angle 1, subtract those from 180. So 180 in the whole triangle, 68 is taken up by that angle, 61 is taken up by that angle. That will give us 51. So angle 1 is 51 degrees. Let's look at angle 2. Well, we can't do anything with this triangle yet. We know that this means 90 degrees, but we don't have one of the other ones. But we do see that this creates an X like that, so we've got the vertex in the middle. So these 2 angles, 61 degrees and this angle 2, are vertical angles. You can see that they look like this one. So you can see that they're equal to each other, so they're going to have the same measure. So if this one's 61, so is this one. Okay? So now we have 2 of the angles of the triangle, so we can take 180 minus one of them. We'll do the 90 degree, and then minus the other. And that is going to give you 29 degrees, okay? And so angle 3 is going to be 29 degrees. Okay? Now I'm going to set up number 7 for you, but I want you to try it on your own, okay? So it starts out by saying segment BC, so that's this one right here. Bisects means cuts perfectly in half, so the 2 angles are the same. Angle ACD, so ACD, so these ones, we have that angle 2 is equal to angle 3, okay? Now I want you to try and solve this on your own. Well, actually, I'll go ahead and also say that since this is a 90-degree angle, we have the angle 2 plus angle 3 is going to give you 90. And if they're the same, that means 2 times whatever one you're looking for is going to give you 90. Let's say angle 2, because it's the same as 2 of it. So angle 2 and angle 3 are 45 degrees. Okay? Now that you know that those 2 are 45 degrees, So this one's 45. This one's 45. Go ahead and look at the two different triangles and try and solve for angles 1 and 4. Okay? So now looking at the back, we're going to mark off 9, 10, and 11 actually. We're not going to do those ones. They get a little more complicated. And let's just look at number 8. So I'm once again going to set this up, but I'm not going to solve it for you. Okay? So I will go ahead and say, so again, we know that this one's a 90-degree angle because it has the little right angle mark. We can see that angles 1, 2, and this 90-degree angle are going to give us a straight line. Straight line is 180 degrees. So we're going to have angle 1, angle 2, and this 90-degree angle. Okay? Now with that, you should be able to solve the rest of these. So you can solve for angle 1, subtracting those two from 180. You can solve for angle 3 by subtracting these two from 180. And then once you've got angle 1 and you've got this 90 degrees, you can subtract 90 in the angle 1 measure in order to get the measure of angle 2. So go ahead and try that one on your own. And then we'll move down here. Okay, so we had some of these types of problems last week on the Padlet problem, or the Padlet podcast. But we know, again, like I said, that all three angles are going to add to 180. So we're going to do blank plus blank plus blank equals 180. Okay, so we can just go ahead and plug them in. So we've got this 5x minus 2. We've got an angle that's 9x plus 3. And then we've got an angle that's 11x minus 21. We just fill in the blanks. Okay. So now we can see how many x's we have. 5 plus 9 plus 11 gives us 25 x's. Minus 2 plus 3 minus 21 gives us minus 20. We still have equals 180. Okay. So we can add the 20 to the other side here. Gives us 25x equals 200. And then if we divide by 25, we're going to get the x is equal to 8. So now that we have 8, we can also use this number to plug in to each of these. So for D, we have 5 times x. Instead of writing x, we're going to write 8 minus 2. 11 instead of x, we're going to write 8 minus 21. 9 instead of x, we're going to write 8 plus 3. Okay, so you can type all those in your calculator. So if you do it for D, you're going to get 38. If you do it to E, you're going to get 75. And then if you do it for F, you're going to get 67. So if we write them all over here, we get 38 degrees, okay, 75 degrees, and 67 degrees. Okay, now I want you to pause and take the time, fill in those blanks. Okay, solve for x, and then instead of writing x for each of them, write what you solved, what you got as your answer for x, sorry. Okay, and then put in your answers over here, what you get. Okay, now if we look at number 14, we remember that the outside is equal to the two insides added together. Okay, so the outside here is this 18x minus 15. Then the inside ones are this 13x minus 11 and 4x plus 1. Okay, so the outside is equal to the inside ones added together. Okay, so now if we go ahead and do this, we're going to have this 18x minus 5, or minus 15 still. We'll go ahead and do the x's, so 13 plus 4 is going to give us 17x. And then the minus 11 plus 1 is going to give us minus 10. Okay. Now if we subtract 17x to the other side, we're going to get that x minus 15 equals negative 10. Then if we add 15, that gives us that x is equal to 5. So x is equal to 5. And now we have to try and figure out what each of these angles are. So CAB is going to be this one, 13. X is 5 minus 11. That's going to give us 54 degrees. So we'll go and write that in there. ABC is 4x plus 1, so 4 times 5 plus 1, which is going to give us 21. degrees. ACB, we're not really sure how to get yet, but we can go ahead and figure out what DCB is. So that's going to be 18 times 5 minus 15, which is going to give us 75. And then if we know that this angle right here is 75 degrees, this one's going to be 180 minus 75. Okay, which is going to give us 105 degrees. Okay, so now I want you to try this one on your own. Again, the outside is equal to the two inside ones added together. Plug them in. Substitute those in there. Fill in those blanks. Solve for x. Use x to solve for each of these. And then this one's going to be 180 minus whatever you got for this one. So you guys let me know if you guys have any problems with this or any questions. I hope you guys understood that. Again, let me know if you have any questions or any problems with anything. Just make sure you upload this to Google Classroom, and you guys have a great day.